Okay, we have been through the process of how do we figure out, does the business make sense at all? Okay, we have to generate a number, this set of numbers. We're now going to come up with a thing called break even.
What's the name of what you...
This is the first section, it's called make money. Yep. And the idea of make money is to end up with a very broad brush of, do I want to continue in the process of the business, or does this business just not make sense for some reason? It's the idea of the $2 haircut. If I come up with a $2 haircut, the analysis says, no, it's not going to work. And I have to change something. And obviously what the typical barber has done in this city is they said, I can't sell a $2 haircut, but I can sell a $20 haircut. And the numbers work at $20. Make sense? So now we're going to do break even. And what break even does is it gives me the number of tickets, the number of units I want to sell to be able to get to the numbers I want in terms of my income. So I'm going to go back to this set of numbers right off. And my question is, for this business, how much money do you want to make per month? What do you want to take home per month?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
For your business here, okay, we're going to generate a number. What I want to be able to do when I get done with break even is I want to say, how many tickets do I need to sell per month? That's my real question. How many tickets is it going to take to sell per month for me to live the way I choose to live? But that assumes that we have a number over here that says, this is how much money it takes me to live. So pick a number that you want to pull out of the business. $3,000. So $3,000 is what I'm going to call the owner's draw. Okay?
After expenses, after everything.
After everything we've got.
That's the profit.
That's the profit. That's the money that I can take and go fly to Europe if I want to. That's right. So this is where I want to be. Okay? So I take my owner's draw, I add to that the operating expenses on a monthly basis. And you said that was $150, right? So I'm going to take $150 and add that to this, and I get $3,150. Then I'm going to take these two numbers up here, and I'm going to come up with a unit profit. Because if I sell one for this price and it costs me that much to generate it, then I'm going to end up not accounting for any overhead or operating expenses. I'm going to end up with $8.34 per unit. Did everybody see how I got that? I took my $15, I subtracted $6.66 from it. So supposedly every ticket I sell is going to give me $8.34. If you're with me, raise your hand, please. You're not with me?
No.
Okay, good. Thank you. Okay, so I sold a ticket for $15. I believe it's going to cost me $6.66 of COGS per ticket. That's why I ended up with a unit of sale, a unit price, and a unit cost. This is for each ticket. This is the amount of money I expect to have come in per ticket. This is the amount of money I expect to go out per ticket. Okay?
So then it's...
So I subtract this number, what goes out per ticket, from this, which is what comes in per ticket, and this gives me what's left over per ticket.
And you came up with the 66 just by
doing the same thing we did before. I took my same scheme here and I said for 1, 2, 3, and 4 of my product, I'm going to sell 33 at this price, 27 at this price, 14 at this price, and 4 at this price. I added those up. I then said the price for these is 10, 20, 30, and 40, and I came up with my unit price, okay? Then I did the same thing for my cost. What did it cost to produce this one and this one and this one and this one? That gave me an average cost. She had a very simple business. All tickets are the same price. All costs are the same, so we didn't have to go through this scheme because everything was the same price. All the rest of your businesses, that's not the case. 95% of the businesses I talk to, it's not the case, okay? Because there are different levels in most businesses or different products.
So you take the cost of all the different products and you average them out.
The same way. And it has to be weighted based on what volume you're going to do with that product. Yes. Okay?
Even if your products are wildly different, like
Even if our products are wildly different.
Your entertainment services.
That's why oftentimes you will work with something that tries to make them easier. That's why I talked about a film minute rather than a film, because one film could be 3 minutes long, another film could be 35 minutes long, and it's really hard to average those. But if I have a cost per minute of film and a price per minute of film, those are probably going to be a lot closer, and so it's something that I can do better with. Make sense? Okay. So we now have this. Where were we? We have this number here. We have 3,000 plus 150 is 3,150. That's the amount of money I need to generate. I divide that by 8.34. This is how much money. This is how much each ticket is going to provide for me. And that's going to say
377.69.
378 tickets. Okay? So your break-even point, the point at which you know you can take home $3,000, is every month you generate 378 tickets. And that's the point of this process, is to get to that number so that when I'm working through my month and I know I got 378 tickets I got to sell, I'm halfway through the month and I sold 400 tickets, I can go to Hawaii for 2 weeks, right? If I sold 78 tickets, I better get busy. I better be out talking to people.
Yeah.
Okay? You want something such that once you go through this process, each month I can walk out the door and I can say, how many tickets have I sold so far? And what do I need to do for the next day, the next hour, the next week? What's the most important thing? How am I doing? How healthy is my business? That's what this thing called break even is. And break even is a number of units. Is everybody with me so far?
Yep.
I know we have been through lots and lots and lots of math. I get that. And I know that, yes.
I didn't quite understand how you came up with the owner's drop. Was that sort of arbitrary, the amount that
Yeah.
the owner thought
Yeah,
they wanted to do?
it is absolutely arbitrary. It is, more than arbitrary. It's the thing where I sit down and I say to myself, what's it worth to me to do this business? What do I have to receive financially for this to be something I will spend my life doing? That's what the owner's draw is. And it's the minimum number.
So that's how much you're paying yourself.
That's right.
And then your operating expenses
Operating expenses are what the business has as operating expenses, and I want to separate those two. I want to have my money, which is my personal money, and the business money, which is the business's money, and I want to separate those two from each other.
But that's gonna be taken as profit, right?
That is profit in the company,
Uh-huh.
and as the owner of the company,
You,
then you can extract from that however much profit you want.
and then you pay taxes.
Yes. But let's see.
That's
We've got about 20 minutes plus however much longer you want to spend after 9 o'clock to go through some other stuff that have to do with taxes and licenses and insurance and profits and so on and so forth. And at the point in time you get up to here, feel free to say, I've had enough, and go. But I wanted to get to this point of saying one of the things that you need to do as a business person is you need to have some sort of a sense as you go through your month to say, I'm doing okay or I'm not. And you know, you can count how many units of sale, you can count how many tickets you've sold real easily. And once this calculation happens, it doesn't matter if they're $20 tickets or $30 tickets or $35 tickets or free tickets. I just say how many tickets, because on average, I'm going to get $24.30 per ticket. On average, they're going to cost me $8.14. So I only need to count one thing, and that's the purpose of being in business. You're in business to do what you love. You're not in business to play with numbers. And so you want one number to work with. And that one number is a number you can walk out the door and see and say, I know what that number is, and I've done that this month. Or I need to work twice as hard because I had a bad month last month. Or whatever. It's that one thing that gives you something to hang on to be able to run your business without spending all your time in the accountant's office. Yes?
I was going to say I will email out the break-even chapter from our business training curriculum, because it helps you walk through arriving at what are my personal expenses in my life. Because that number, that owner's draw, yeah, you want to be able to cover your personal expenses, living expenses, transportation, those types of things. But then what's the extra? So I'll make sure to include that in the follow-up so you can work through that
Thank you,
chapter.
that would be great.
Because it has some good vocabulary and stuff to work through.
Yes?
That sounds good.
So, my break even is kind of weird because I could make like a 3-minute great thing, or I could make a 9-minute flop. So that makes it like, even if I make my break even, if I'm feeling confused.
And I'm with you, okay?
Yeah.
And in the case that we're talking about,
Yeah.
in this case here, no, not this case here, in this case over here,
Yeah,
just as easily in a month,
yeah,
half of the tickets that she sold would be free tickets. And that would make the total revenue down significantly. Okay? So it doesn't guarantee that with that number you will be there, but over the average of time, it gives me an indication of where I am. And so it's very important that you work through this process and say, okay, I've got to include the 3-minute great things and the 9-minute flops in the process of generating what my unit price is and my unit cost is. I have to include those.
would it then be wise for me to just research, like how distribution companies purchase film?
Absolutely.
So I actually know what they are thinking of.
Yes,
the
absolutely.
Because I have no idea.
Okay, so I'm gonna,
Yeah.
you bring up a great point. I'm gonna recommend one thing for everybody here,
Yeah.
but specifically to address your question.
Yeah.
The first thing I would try to find is I would try to find a mentor.
Okay.
A mentor is somebody that's in exactly the same business you're in, hopefully not a direct competitor. So go find somebody that does movies. and say, okay, tell me about this. Tell me about how you account for this. Tell me what it costs to generate a minute of movie. Tell me what you have to do in terms of time to generate the movie. How long does it take to generate a minute? What's the editing cost going to be? Those are all things that a good mentor will help you with. And I'm going to say, and this is something that many small businesses don't believe up front, but they find is true. Most successful small business people would love to mentor you. There's a huge feeling that I went through this and I have something to offer, and I'd love somebody else to be as successful as I am, and I would love to be able to share what I've done so they don't have to go through the same pain I went through. I have never found anybody that has just plain said, no, I don't want to be a mentor. If anything, you'll find people that say, I'm sorry, I'm just too busy. I can't spend the time. But most people, and some of the best mentors are retired people that have done this already. They've made their money, they're kicking back a little bit, they've got a little bit extra time, maybe they're doing one or two on the side, but it isn't required, and they would love to support somebody in that process.